The following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl B-Danae, and if you're new here, welcome. Feel free to join us in my little corner of the internet by subscribing down below and hitting that notification bell so that you're notified whenever I upload. So today's video will be a bit different. We'll be talking about something more on a serious note. That's why I have my wine here with me. This is some Barefoot Pinot. Drink responsibly. So it's Pinot Grigio. And today's topic that I chose to talk about is all about mental health. Because I grew up in a community where mental health is something so taboo. People don't really talk about it. Unless you see someone like walking the street, you'll be like, oh yeah, they're crazy, they have mental health issues. But truth is, mental health issues affect everyone. You don't have to be walking the street to be affected by mental health issues. But yeah, today's topic for this discussion will be all about mental health. I'll be telling you guys about my struggles with mental health, as well as just going into mental health on a deeper level. I do know that we don't really talk about mental health and it's kind of a taboo topic. That's why I chose to talk about it in this video and hopefully in other videos to come. So yeah, I have my Pinot. So let's get started. So according to mentalhealth.gov, mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. It also helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make choices. Mental health is important at every stage of life, from childhood and adolescence through adulthood. Over the course of your life, if you experience mental health problems, your thinking, mood, and behavior could be affected. Many factors contribute to mental health problems, including biological factors such as gene or brain chemistry, life experiences such as trauma or abuse, family history of mental health problems. Mental health problems are common, but help is available. People with mental health problems can get better and many recover completely. So mentalhealth.gov, I'll leave the link in the description box below. It also gives early warning signs. So not sure if you or someone you're living with has mental health problems. Experiencing one or more of the following feelings or behaviors can be an early warning sign of a problem. Eating or sleeping too little or too much, pulling away from people and usual activities, having low or no energy, feeling numb or like nothing matters, having unexplained aches and pains, feeling helpless or hopeless, smoking, drinking, or using drugs more than usual, feeling unusually confused, forgetful, on edge, angry, upset, worried, or scared, yelling or fighting with family and friends, experiencing severe mood swings that cause problems in relationships, having persistent thoughts and memories you can't get out of your head, hearing voices or believing things that are not true, thinking of harming yourself or others, and lastly, an inability to perform daily tasks like taking care of your kids or getting to work or school. So that's according to mentalhealth.gov. Those are some early warning signs actually of mental health problems. So if you're experiencing any of those problems, please reach out to someone, a professional in that field, whether a psychologist or like a doctor. Please reach out to someone and look for help. It's not bad to get help. Help is out there if you need it, and I think everyone should utilize the help that is out there. So that's basically a rundown on mental health. So I'll be telling you guys about my experiences with mental health problems. In 2017. I moved to Maryland in October post Irma and Maria. The islands were devastated, so I felt like I had no choice but to relocate to find work, because my office was telling me that they don't know when we would be able to come back into work, and the government didn't know when they would be able to pay their employees, and I have US student loans that had to be paid. So I decided to put my big girl panties on and relocate to America. So my aunt, I lived with my aunt and my grandma at the time. I was perfectly fine in October of 2017, living with my aunt and grandma. As I reached into the US, I hit the pavement running, grinded the paint, and by November 2017, 1 month later, I was able to move out on my own, get an apartment, buy a car, and basically move off on my own from living with my aunt. During that time, while I was living on my own, I decided that I wanted to take birth control pills, and that's when the problem started. So I went into the women's health clinic and I was prescribed some birth control medication, to help with cramps and protect against, the babies. So I got a prescription for some birth control. A few months after receiving the birth control and taking it regularly, I noticed that I would get into these depressive states. I would have really bad mood swings. I wouldn't want to talk to anyone. Like, I would cut myself off from everyone for days. I would not want to get out of bed. It was like just a task doing normal day-to-day stuff. So I suffered with that for a while, until it got really bad to a point like a year later, or a year or two later, while taking it, I developed thoughts of suicide. Nothing was wrong. The only thing was I was living on my own, but I was fine with living on my own before I started taking these pills. And suddenly I got thoughts of suicide, which was really weird, because I never experienced anything like this before. I never ever thought about harming myself or hurting myself. So I was like, why am I having these thoughts? Like, I want to die. And I was confused as to where it was coming from, but I would have these heavy thoughts about me wanting to not be here anymore. Nothing would be wrong with me. No one would have done me anything. I just didn't want to live anymore at some moments. That's why when like, if you follow me on social media and you ever see me posting my good friend Mike, he's like my best friend now, and I'm always like, Mike saved my life. Like, he doesn't know this, but he literally saved my life. Like, I owe him my life, because if it wasn't for him, I don't think Brianna would be here today. But yeah, I would just have random thoughts of suicide, and it was really strange. He would notice like my change of mood and be like, okay, let's go. He like basically force me out the house or come over and have talk to me and just keep me company and stuff like that. So I really appreciate you, Mike. Thank you so much. I owe you my life for real. But yeah, I would have thoughts of, and I didn't know where it was coming from. I just thought I don't know. I don't even know what I thought at the moment. It was just like, 1 minute I'm good, and then the next minute I don't want to be here anymore. So it was really strange. So I expressed that to my mom one day on the way to work. I was like, Mom, some days I have thoughts of suicide. And she was like, maybe it's the birth control pills that you're taking. Some of them mess with your hormones, mess with your emotions, and it can mess with your brain, and give you those thoughts. So you should probably stop taking them. So I stopped taking them, and the thoughts of suicide stopped, but I still got into like these depressive moods, and I think my mom got scared. So she retired and she relocated to Maryland with me. So the thoughts of suicide was going on for like a year, 2 years. So fast forward to 2019. 2019, I decided to finally go to the doctor and see what's wrong with me. And that's when was diagnosed, formally diagnosed by my doctor in about, it was June 2019 that I was formally diagnosed with depression disorder and anxiety disorder. And he gave me prescription medication for both. So the Mayo Clinic describes or defines depression as a mood disorder that causes persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest. It's also called major depressive disorder or clinical depression. It affects how you feel, think, and behave, and can lead to a variety of emotional and physical problems. You may have trouble doing normal day-to-day activities, and sometimes you may feel as if life isn't worth living. It's more than just about the blues. Depression isn't a weakness, and you can't simply snap out of it. Depression may require long-term treatment, but don't get discouraged. Most people with depression feel better with medication, psychotherapy, or both. So it says some of the symptoms of depression are feelings of sadness, tearfulness, emptiness, and hopelessness, angry outbursts, irritability or frustration, even over small matters, loss of interest or pleasure in most or all normal activities such as sex, hobbies, or sports, sleep disturbances, including insomnia or sleeping too much, tiredness and lack of energy, so even small tasks take a lot of effort, reduced appetite and weight loss or increased cravings for food and weight gain, anxiety, agitation, and restlessness, slow thinking, speaking, or body movements, feeling of worthlessness or guilt, fixation on past failures or self-blame, trouble thinking, concentrating, making decisions, and remembering things, frequent or recurrent thoughts of death, suicidal thoughts, suicide attempts, or suicide, unexplained physical problems such as back pain or headaches. Anxiety disorder is defined by Mayo Clinic as a frequent, intense, excessive, and persistent worry and fear about everyday situations. Often, anxiety disorders involve repeated episodes of sudden feelings of intense anxiety and fear or terror that reach a peak within minutes. These are also known as panic attacks. These feelings of anxiety and panic interfere with daily activities, are difficult to control, and are out of proportion to the actual danger and can last a long time. You may avoid places or situations to prevent these feelings. Symptoms may start during childhood or the teen years and continue into adulthood. So symptoms of anxiety, according to Mayo Clinic, are feeling nervous, restless, or tense, having a sense of impending danger, panic, or doom, having an increased heart rate, breathing rapidly, sweating, trembling, feeling weak or tired, trouble concentrating or thinking about anything other than the present worry, having trouble sleeping, experiencing gastrointestinal problems, having difficulty controlling worry, having the urge to avoid things that trigger anxiety. And there are different types of anxiety as well. So your situation could be totally different to mine or to the next person's. Also, I feel like my job at the time wasn't really helping with my anxiety and depression because I worked with clients, and dealing with people isn't always the best thing. And I worked in the stock market, so the stock market was always iffy, and clients would call in upset if they lose money, and the person that answers the phone would get the brunt of the backlash or whatever that the wrath of the client, basically. So that wasn't helping with my situation, because if I'm already feeling like I don't want to be here, and then you have a client calling in because they lost on a trade that they placed, and they're like, oh, you're stupid, you don't know what you're doing, blah, 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 blah. That's this kind of stuff that could happen. It happened like a a few times while I was working there, I would literally just answer the phone. Hello, how may I help you? Oh, this company sucks. You're so stupid. I'm just like, I just said hello. But yeah, so that working environment as well was not good for me at all. So I had decided to quit. Me and my mom had discussed that we're gonna relocate to Florida anyway, and I could have asked to be transferred to like a Florida office or something, but I didn't. I couldn't deal with that anymore. I couldn't work in that environment anymore. So I decided to quit my job. But anyway, I decided to visit the doctor on June 26th, 2019. So that was right before I was relocating. I was like, let me use my health benefits while I still have them and go to the doctor. So yeah, he formally diagnosed me with depression disorder and anxiety disorder. I do have prescription medication here that I never took. Well, I took it once and then I stopped because I didn't like how it makes me feel like a robot. I was told to go back and have them prescribe me other medication, but I just try to find ways to cope with it outside of medication because I don't want to become heavily dependent on medications in order to get through my day, that type of way. So I've started meditations. So I use the Calm app on the iPhone to help meditations. I have Calm and I have Breathe. I'll leave them in the link to them in the description box below as well. I also try aromatherapy where I use essential oils like eucalyptus and peppermint and stuff like that, lavender to help with my mood. I also burn lavender candles and such. You guys can tell based off of all of my hauls and like favorites and stuff that I'm big into scents. I feel like scents really help boost my mood and boost like my feel good hormones, endorphins. I also found that working out helps a lot too. And also just when you're feeling down, just surround yourself with love, literally. Like when I feel down, I would go in my mom's bed and just cuddle up on her bed next to her, or I would go talk to my cousin, or just surround myself with love. I would reach out to my friends, and it has moments where I can't control myself, so I will just shut down. Like I won't talk to anyone. I won't talk to I will go weeks without talking to my friends. I live in the same house as my mom, and she won't hear from me for like days. Sometimes my brother won't hear from me for days. They'll just know I'm alive because they'll hear me moving about the house. I would just shut down. Like the lights on but nobody's home. So yeah, so those are some of the things that I do to try to cope with this anxiety and depression. I also work out a lot. If I think I said that before too, and I found that eating better helped too. So like when I lost my first 20 pounds on the ketogenic diet, I don't do dirty keto, so I eat a lot of like veggies and healthy fats and meats. So I found that changing up that to that rather than stress eating, like eating cake and stuff like that, it really helped with my mood too. It really helps with any attacks that I may have. So changing your diet can also help. Also working at Merrill, I would get panic attacks. If you ask Mike, he could tell you, like, I would, after a call, like, especially if it was a bad call, I would literally run to the bathroom and just break down. Like, I couldn't do it, couldn't deal with it. I just had to give myself that moment. I would break down, and then after about 10-15 minutes, come back to my desk and try to proceed as usual. So mental health issues can happen to anybody. You don't have to be crazy or walk in the street. You're not crazy if you have mental health issues. Like looking at me on my social media, and even like if you meet me out, you would never think that, oh my gosh, Brianna looks like she suffers from depression and anxiety. Like depression and anxiety doesn't have a look, it doesn't have a face. Anyone can suffer from depression and anxiety. You never know what people are going through. So it's always good to be kind with your words and just talk about stuff, talk about your issues, let people know what's going on with you. Let your friends or family, whoever you trust, let them know what's going on with you. Seek professional help as well. I plan on, when I get my new job with my new benefits and stuff, seeing a psychologist or psychiatrist or someone that can assist me better. I feel like my mechanisms are working for me a bit, but I need professional help. I need to really get to the nitty gritty and get down to the issues, because I swear my issues will stop at me. I refuse to pass down any issues that I have onto my children if God ever blesses me with them. So yeah, I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about mental health and about my mental health struggles, just to let you guys know that you're not alone. You're not the only one that are going through mental health issues. Mental health issues don't have a face. So yeah, if you're interested in any more mental health talks or mental health videos, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of this Pinot. I hope you guys are enjoying your day, your week, your month, 2021 and a whole as it started. Thank you guys so much for rocking with me so far. We've got 170 subbies in our little corner of the internet. Thank you so much for joining us over here. If you haven't already, you can subscribe and join us. We talk, we laugh. I ain't really trying to cry on Alvin's internet, but if a tear slips out or two, we finna cry, we finna boss up, and we finna move on. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, as I said before. Until next time, bye.